gotta move.
Yeah.
Lori
Taylor, the produce mom, is here, and she brought a friend who's not Greek. Why do you ask? Because her name is Kaci Komstadius, and she claims it's Komstadius. Welcome to Indy Style. You claim it's Swedish.
It is.
Your heritage is Swedish. All right, I'll take your word for it.
She's from Washington.
Yeah.
State.
That's right.
Not the city.
Far west side, as you can get, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Guess what shampoo I used today?
Something with an apple scent?
No.
Oh.
Well, actually, watermelon. It was Spider-Man. I'm out of shampoo.
Oh.
So I was like, what did the boys have?
Works,
Don't get me started on body wash. Don't get me started on body wash. That's a whole, we don't have, this is only a 1 hour show.
Another day.
I know, okay.
Washington State, though, so perfectly located with the weather and the soil and everything I mean, it's one of the top fruit-producing states on the planet.
They feed the world.
Yeah.
Yep. Apples and pears and cherries are what we specialize in at Sage Fruit. So that's,
And so today, what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about apples, pears, and cherries. And what I really want to talk about is, you can see it here on this apple box. It says Breeze, New Zealand, and you can always see that on your sticker when you're buying your fruit. It says where it's coming from, the country. That's a federal. That's a federal law,
right?
It's got to say where it's from. And you know, Kaci, this is her forte. Yeah, she knows her stuff when it comes to apples, but it's important that we explain to consumers, you know, there's a reason why we're in Indiana and our apples are saying that they're from New Zealand.
So it has to do with the seasonality. Sometimes we'll run out of certain varieties, and New Zealand has their own, like the Breeze, which we currently do not grow in Washington. We're getting there, but I mean, it's a great apple. It's sweet, it's juicy. Their growing region is similar to ours in Washington State, so they're grown almost the same way.
Yeah.
Well, and as Americans, we're spoiled. We want things when we want things.
Yes.
We're not going to wait for nature, local nature, right?
Yes. And the same thing happens with pears. I mean, we kind of run out of pears, and so you'll bring them up from Chile or Argentina so that you have pears now.
Yeah. So,
that's good.
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
But for a lot of people, I mean, they like fresh fruit. They want to incorporate it more in their family's, diet and menu. But a lot of times, other than slicing it, some people are at a loss with what to do with it.
So this is an easy recipe for oatmeal incorporating apples. This is 4 apples. We're going to use about 3 of them. You just let the apples simmer in just a little bit of butter. Get that going, and as they cook down, you'll just add your water and your oats. This recipe is on theproducemom.com.
Is this a situation where it depends, the variety doesn't matter as much as, say, when you're baking?
You'll probably want to go more of a sweeter variety.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't want to add sugar.
Yes.
But the one that I made here, we added nothing. We added a little bit of honey to it, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
had a jaw flex.
And
for some of the more tart apples.
Yeah.
Do you really need much though? If you have those sweet apples in there, do you really
No,
need
just
much sugar?
satisfy your sweet tooth with fruit. That's what we're going to do in our second segment. And one thing that Kaci and I are really excited about, it's a new initiative in the fresh produce industry, our global industry, and it's called Eating by Example. Because here, she works in an office that, they're growing it, they're shipping it around the world. My role in the industry is to help consumers understand how to select, store, and serve the stuff. We're all working for the same purpose, which is to increase the consumption of fruits and vegetables. How hypocritical would it be if we ourselves are not eating more fruits and vegetables? So our industry has made a commitment, and you can experience this campaign on social media. The hashtag is Eating by Example. You can see ideas of how, different recipes that we're using within our own offices for, if you're bringing in breakfast for an office meeting, or if you're celebrating a birthday, like how do you eat by example?
So it's really a dirty looks campaign if you're not doing that, especially where you're growing, producing. You brought what for lunch?
I know. And so the Produce Mom is a part of Eating by Example. Kaci, tell them about Sage Fruit. I talked her into it. I told her on live television, you got to announce it.
We will be eating by example in the Sage Fruit office.
That's right.
We need a little more excitement out of you.
Yeah.
How pumped are you about eating by example?
So excited.
Yeah, and it's something that we as an industry are trying to be the example, obviously, and help inspire all of our consumers. Like, here's a bunch of different ideas. So look for that to come from not just the Produce Mom, but all the other wonderful entities and brands within our industry. So, all right, so this will cook down.
Breakfast,
Back to the oatmeal. This will cook down, and this I made right before the show. It's very, very hearty breakfast.
Now, is there a certain, because I know with oatmeal, when I cook oatmeal, sometimes if you cook it too long, it has sort of a sticky.
Well, that's why
consistency.
I don't know. I just say that's why I eat Irish oats.
Okay.
The steel cut Irish
steel
oats,
cut.
like I don't feel like they get real.
It's harder to screw up.
Yeah, I don't feel like they get real mushy and whatnot. You can still kind of have that nice oatmeal
That's
texture
good
to
to
them.
know.
I like my oatmeal
Yeah.
lumpy because there's fewer bites.
Yeah, and you know, you can. This is a great example of a recipe which will be on IndyStyle.tv. You can make it in advance, put it in a crock pot. You can make it in the microwave. You can make it on the stovetop. You don't have to do it this way. So, and as you can tell, like, you don't even really have to get too worried about the measurements. You know, just
kind
roll
of
with
throw it in there.
Yeah, it's
however
oatmeal.
you
You're not
like
going to mess
huh?
it up. So
Perfect. Okay, wonderful.
You did a good job. That's the first time you've had Mabel underfoot in an interview, right?
I know.
If Mabel's here, that means Patty's here. Good morning, Patty.
Yeah,